Alright, here we go everybody. Welcome to my Hammond chop video. I guess this is part 1. So as you can see, here's my lovely Hammond M3, made in 1959. There's the front of it, and there's my little lovely amp beneath it. So basically this part of the chop we're going to be talking about what's been done and what we haven't done. So a couple of big things. First, get my finger out of the way. You notice I have already taken the speaker out, and I'm going to be using some other method of moving the sound from the organ to my amp right there. So, but that will be discussed later. So, if we go around to the back, I want you to see a couple of things. First, this is my amp. Now, you see all these little tags hanging from it. What I'm going to have to do is to unsolder all of these little wires that are hanging on the amp, and these little tags are reminding me of which wire goes on which part of the amp. So, yeah, that's going to have to happen, but the amp is going to be replaced right about up there in that part of the upper cabinet. So that's the first thing. Second thing, yeah, no speaker again. Secondly, right here was where the reverb unit was. Now, just a note, not all Hammonds come with a reverb unit. However, mine did. I'm not using the reverb unit on it. Taking off the reverb unit has also dropped me about 10 pounds off of the weight of the organ. And there's also you can't see it because the video is kind of dark, but there was also kind of a reverb hanging unit right over here on the right side. Alright, and last but not least, I have also taken off the bass pedals down there. And also taking off those bass pedals have saved me at least another 5 pounds. So I've probably dropped 25 pounds, at least at this point, on the organ overall. So not bad, but I still want to get the thing chopped. I guess the only other thing I was going to mention was I've already started a cut over here on the side, if you can see that, and that was basically done by hand, but until I get the amp removed and put up, or at least out, I can't really cut the bottom half of the cabinet out. So that's really what's going on there, but that is pretty much all that you can do pre-cut for to chop the Hammond. So I guess part 2 is coming up next. Okay everyone, welcome to part 2 of my little Hammond chop video. As you can see, well maybe you can't see, my Hammond is officially on crates. Yeah, so I have made the main chop, I guess you could call it. There's the other half of it, right there. I'm gonna go ahead and say this, it's not the easiest cut to make, especially if you're not used to woodworking like myself. So if you are good with woodworking, then knock yourself out. Just be sure you measure, because you don't want to cut into the upper cabinet whenever you're doing this thing. But other than that, it was a pretty easy cut. And I mean, I would say my skill set at a woodworking level, I don't know, I'm probably about at a 4 on a range of 1 to 10. But anyway, that's the lower half. And I'm going to go ahead and use that, not in this video, but in the next video, to make legs for the back part of the organ. So, but that's the bottom half. Alright, what we have here, there's the amplifier, as you can see. Last night I actually went through, let me get a closer look. I went through all of these little connections here and desoldered them. And they are now running just up under the organ as opposed to going around before as they were. So that's what I've done there. And also, I went ahead this morning and cleaned it up some. I know it doesn't look very clean, but I scrubbed with rubbing alcohol and a toothbrush for about 30 or 40 minutes. And that's the best I could get. So, that being said, that's the amp. I'm ready to mount it on the upper part of the cabinet upside down. However, I bought the wrong screws at the hardware store today, so I'm going to have to go get those swapped out. But that is what's going on there. So, hey there everyone, Ryan here for the last part of my Hammond chop video. It's finished, it's ready to roll. Here it is right behind me. And I just wanted to give a couple of pieces of advice just on my understanding of how things went with mine. I ran into some issues, to be real honest. After I mounted the preamp up on the top cabinet, I did something to the power, and every time I would plug my organ in, or just even plug the power source into my power protector, my surge protector, it would just blow. I'd lose all electricity in my little building out here, and that was all. So that's obviously a problem. So I had to take my organ up to Oklahoma City and get it worked on by a couple of guys, and $325 later, I am now being able to use it. So, yay. But I just want to say that this has not been an easy project. Getting the preamp up on the top cabinet is only half the problem. Making sure it works is the other half. And unfortunately, when you're using such an old piece of equipment such as a Hammond organ, you know, something made in the late 1950s, early 1960s, there are just 1,000 little things that could go wrong electrically that if you're not an electrician, it's kind of hard to understand. So, and even for me, I've been messing with Hammond organs for a long time, but still just don't understand them electrically probably as well as I should. Now, this has been a great lesson for me, but it still just hasn't been fantastic. Not overall. So, I'm probably never going to be doing this kind of thing again, especially since it's just not worth, I think, in the outcome what it would be just to leave it alone, because the thing's still heavy. Still takes at least 2 people to haul it, and it's just a pain. So, that being said, if you look behind me, there is my lovely preamp on top of my Hammond organ. It's turned on right now, so I don't know if you can hear the whirring of the tone wheel generator. But there it is, that cable coming out. The guy who worked on my organ, little old guy, he named Angelo Dominic, or Dominic Angelo, I always get his name backwards. He put that line out for me on there. He put a dummy load on the preamp and did that. And you can see the original swell pedal lever down beneath it. Actually, I'll put this closer to it so you can see it. Right about here is where the swell pedal would have been. But we just taped that up since we're not going to be using it. But that's that. And I'm going to try to get the covering back on this thing. I've actually got it sitting right over here by me as I'm doing this video, but I'm having a trouble time getting it over those cables right there. So anyway, that's kind of the back of it right now. Underneath, don't know if you can see that, I've got it hooked up to my little Yamaha swell pedal there. It's not a great one. It's not an Ernie ball or anything, but it'll have to do for right now. And out of my volume pedal, I'm going into my Korg G4 Leslie simulator, and out of my Leslie simulator to the my little amp over there. So that's the configuration for it. Now you got to hear this thing. I mean, it's not spot on Leslie, but it sounds like $1,000,000. So hang on and I'll play it. Okay, here we are. Korg G4 coming out of the Hammond organ. So, this is just the organ bypassed. That first little pedal right there is a bypass pedal. And just sounds like a Hammond organ without any kind of Leslie effect, tremolo, nothing. I mean, just for the heck of it. There's that good old vibrato that's built into the Hammond. Okay, so we throw that bypass off. And throw on the Leslie. Oh wait, we got the stop button on this way. There we go. So that's the bottom manual. For some reason, the top up here, it comes in so much hotter through the amp than the bottom does. It's just unreal. But that is that. No changes over there, really. Other than I intend to take the base drawbar here off here at some point, just because I don't use it anymore, and I was kind of hoping to put it on a keychain, but that's just my thoughts on that. Other than that, I think that's about it. I know this probably hasn't been super informational for you guys, but that's really all that I have. Feel free to email me questions about if you're planning on doing this. Honestly, I recommend that you don't do it. But if you're bored and have a free Hammond M3 sitting around your house, why not, right? So, anyway, this is Ryan signing off, and enjoy!